So this holiday weekend sees the EFL League 2 playoff final between Walsall and Wimbledon. It's over at Wembley, that's right, in the Battle of the W's, of course. We've simulated the match over 100 times using Football Manager. Who came out on top? Well, I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is the EFL League 2 playoff final, and we've simulated over 100 times using Football Manager. But who came out on top? Well, we're going to take a look in just a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and your subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, League 2, World Football. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right, courtesy of Football Manager 2024. That's right. We've simulated this season's EFL League 2 conclusion. Is the playoff final, is at Wembley, and of course we'll showcase you who came out on top in just a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons, you know who you are. But what we're going to do now, though, is, of course, I'll tell you a little bit about the simulation. We've done it over 100 times. We did use Football Manager 2024, which is the latest edition of the franchise. We did use an update. We used a patch as well to bring up the latest squads and all that kind of stuff. And we did complete the season with the guys finishing in the playoff spots. But who came out on top? Well, we're going to run through the simulations and I'm going to go through the numbers right here, right now. So sit tight, hold on. Let's get into it to show you what I'm talking about. So here we go then, guys. The results are on the screen right now. We've come up with a graphical way to display the results, and we're going to go through them one by one. We're going to start with, I do believe, with some of the high-scoring showcases throughout the 100 simulations. So kicking it off with Walsall's, I think, biggest victory. Throughout the 100 simulations, they had a 4-0 win. That was their highest. That was their highest scoreline in the 100 simulations. Wimbledon had a 6-0 win. Wow. That was one of their highest, the highest one for Wimbledon in the 100 sims, of course. I don't know, I will tell you how many exact simulations we did in a second. I believe it's over like 105 or 108, something like that. The most prolific goals within the 100 simulations was a 7-goal thriller right here, and it went in favour of Wimbledon, 4-3 in the end, to, of course, finish that one off. Now, those are just little cherries on top, little highlights for the 100 simulations, but what about the total amount of goals was scored within the simulation? Well, I'll tell you right here, right now. Walsall chipped in with a respectable 136 goals within the simulations. However, Wimbledon really flexed their goal-scoring boots, and they chipped in with 183 goals. Now, what are you thinking? You're thinking, oh gosh, Wimbledon absolutely walked this, didn't they? Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. We're going to go through some of the scenarios here before we give you the grand reveal at the end of the video. So starting with the goal scorers for Walsall, let's get into it then, shall we? Starting with the least amount of goals scored by anyone within the books. So starting from the bottom, working our way up, and of course we'll do the same for Wimbledon. So chipping in with some goals, it was Williams with just the 1 goal. And again, we updated the squads, of course, with the real deal squads that I believe anyway. I'm not a big Walsall fan myself, or Wimbledon fan, so I don't know. I do believe it's correct, but you'll probably find out some massive differences. Anyway, Williams got himself 1 goal. Farquharson got himself a goal as well. Daniels as well with a 1. Lankin as well got 1. There was 2 own goals courtesy of the Wimbledon players. We have Weir in there with 3 goals. We have McEntee there with 4. Sturck got himself 5. Aswemi got 6. Comley got 7. Wow. Does that ring a bell to you guys? Meanwhile, Matt got himself 10 goals. We've got Gordon in there with 13. Into the top 3 there, the medal positions. We got Hall there with 23 goals. Johnson got himself 27. But the main man for Walsall, correct me if I'm wrong, was Harrison. Ellie Harrison with 32 goals for his efforts within the simulations. Now that, of course, totals 136. You can do the maths on that one. Let's hop on over, take a look at the Wimbledon fellas then, shall we? Starting with their least amount of goal scoring. It was Hutchinson got himself just the 1 goal. Sasu got himself 1 goal over the course of the sims. Ogunde, he got 2. Johnson got 5. That's the Wimbledon's Johnson. We got Furlong also chipping in with 5. Reeves got himself 5 as well. Lewis with 7. That was 8 own goals. Wow, within the sims. Smith there got himself 10. Bugel got himself 11. Into the power 5 we go now. And we're left with Brown with 13. Stevens with 15. Into the bronze medal spot now. Who, of course, the 3rd highest goal scorer within the simulations was Hippolyte with 17. Or Hippolyte. Tilly's in there with 41 goals. That's a massive jump there. But the main man, of course, throughout the simulations, if I can find my bloody mouse, was, in fact, Kelly with 42, just one better. And if you are quick at maths, you can figure all that out with 183 goals. Now, like I said at the start, it means something, but it doesn't mean absolutely everything. It does mean Wimbledon scored more goals than Walsall within the simulations. Well, let's showcase you the top 10 before I get into a bit more detail here. Top 10, now we're combining both, just to kind of showcase you where all the goals are at. So Wimbledon did have the more goals, but who featured in the top 10? Well, let's start with number 10 was Bujal there for Wimbledon. Is that right? Yep. Gordon in there with 13 goals. We have Brown in there with 13. Stevens also there with 15. Hapote there with 17. Hall there with 23. Johnson's 27, Harris has got 32, Tilly 41, and Kelly got 42 goals. Now, those were the top 10 goal scorers with it. So now let's get to the meat of the matter. The proof is in the pudding right here, right now. So we're going to go through the simulations. I'm going to start with extra times. How many of the 100-plus simulations went into extra time, and how were they divided upon? Well, let's go into that now. So I'll tell you right here, right now, there were 13 games that ended in extra time. We're not talking penalties. We're just talking extra time. So 13 of them went beyond 90 minutes and were done and dusted in extra time. And they were divvied up this way. 9 wins for Walsall, just 4 wins for Wimbledon, of course, and that was reflected in the loss column as well. So what I'm trying to tell you here, Wimbledon may have scored all the goals. Oh, yes. But Walsall, if dragged into extra time, they would come out on top. A good, 60% of the time there, if you want to do the maths. Maybe I should include a percentage column on that one. So if it does happen to go to extra time, the supercomputer, aka FM24, says that Walsall will be victorious. What about penalties then? Well, penalties were a factor as well in the simulation. And of course, we had to endure 15 of those penalty shootouts within the sims. And when they were divided up, 7 of them went to Walsall, 8 of them went to Wimbledon. So Wimbledon just edging it in the penalty shootout ranks. So, so if it goes beyond penalties, beyond extra time, into the penalties, Wimbledon just about edge it. But it is micro margins at this point. So if you want to combine those two, if it does go beyond 90 minutes, what is the outcome? What's the general outcome? Well, 28 of the matches went beyond 90 minutes into extra time and penalties. And if you are quick at maths, you could quickly add those two numbers together and you'll get this: 16 wins for Walsall, 12 wins for Wimbledon, which does mean a big fat check in the box for Walsall. So all the goals for Wimbledon, it does amount to something, but doesn't really amount to much then, shall we? Now, what about games that did take place within the 90-minute mark? Of course, done and dusted at 90. What was the factor on that one? Well, we had 77 of those. And we already know what goes on after 90 minutes, but what happens within the 90? It goes on beyond 90, it's Walsall's to win. Goodness gracious me. But within 90, it's Wimbledon's to win, and quite significantly more than likely going in favour of Wimbledon. 2-1 pretty much in their favour. So take from what you will. So in total then, of course, the combined simulations, we have 105 of them. And of course, 42 went in favour of Walsall and 63 went in favour of Wimbledon, which of course amounts to 105 matches. So that's my take on it, guys. Of course, short and sweet right here, right now. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? My own prediction is on its own video, so make sure you check that out. But this is what the supercomputer thinks. Do you agree with the supercomputer? Do you not? It does look like Wimbledon have the edge heading into this playoff final at Wembley on Bank Holiday Monday. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below as we look forward to that and, of course, the new season. But until then, subscribe, smash the like. Catch you later. We're done.